Hey, how's it going, Angelina County and Texas? Cop watchers, courtroom watchers, auditors, whoever this might affect. I put this out from Angelina County because I see a lot of other individuals who are posting and exposing the corruption in their small towns and actually taking an active role in being a citizen and providing oversight for our county and elected officials. I want to start here by saying that in Angelina County, we've received a lot of information back on Freedom of Information request, and some we have delays on, so I want to point those out on video. So number one is that we have our county judge, I mean, not a county judge, but our District 217th judge, Judge Insman. He was sorry, information was requested on emails between our messages between him and other county employees on his phone. What got him in trouble was the fact is that he stated that he didn't have a phone and that he couldn't give out what he didn't have. Well, apparently, per Freedom of Information request, he had to release the documentation showing that that's not necessarily true. He does have a phone. He does message public county employees. Number one was it was contained. It was on the drug court and was messaging to see if there was going to be anybody available or if they have anybody to hear a certain case. And the answer was back. And then we have multiple emails or messages from his phone to other entities inside the county. And it was actually, you could tell that it was actually used for business. We're seeking to find out what other emails that he had sent to county employees because it's conflict of interest if he is. Now, number two is in the Lopez case, Mr. Lopez had a attorney. His name was John Tatum. Mr. Tatum was supposed to be representing him. I think I've told you the story before. However, the fact is that Stephanie Stroud, who was at the time the assistant district attorney, she was speaking with Mr. Tatum and Mr. Lopez, and was discussing a plea deal. And they come up with an offer on a plea deal. And instead of making the decision right then, she said, well, I have to go ask the judge. Now, where this gets kind of crazy is that Mr. Tatum didn't go into chambers with the judge. There was no discussion, or there was discussion about this case, and Mr. Lopez's attorney wasn't involved in it. It was regarding the plea deal. She basically said, well, let me go see if the judge will accept that. That raises a red flag because you know as well as I do, when you're in court, any closed door sessions or any chamber meeting has to be with the defense attorney, and it wasn't done. Neither Ms. Stephanie Stroud asked Mr. Tatum to go into the chambers. Mr. Tatum didn't take on upon himself to go, and this fits in line with the whole Lopez scenario. They never wanted to see the inside of a courtroom. They were trying to work out a plea deal, and basically the district attorney's office kind of got handcuffed because the fact is that Mr. Lopez was not taking a plea deal. He was insisting on going to trial. And at that moment is when Mr. Tatum actually stated that he had to get off Mr. Lopez's case. He had to get off this case. So that right there would open the door is, what is Judge Inselman and Stephanie Stroud going to lunch over? It's appeared in court. I said, what we're going to do for lunch today, Stephanie? And she said, well, I'll have to get back to you, Judge. And this was in open court. I mean, come on, man. So that just kind of tells you the confusion that goes on in our county 217th courtroom. I haven't been to the 159th yet. I haven't heard anything about Judge Casal. I've really actually met him, never seen him. But we definitely have a problem in this one courtroom about sharing information, and it looks as if that these individuals that are appearing for court, that they're actually offering a plea deal, and they're negotiating with the judge. They're not negotiating with the defense attorney. So that's a big no-no. We also have Ms. Stephanie Stroud, who's assistant district attorney. She has stated that she was going to resign along with her compadre, Janet Castles, but she asked for extension for her to hear her cases, or finish out her cases that she had started, which she was granted. Now let's take into consideration that most of her caseload is 13 individuals who she wrapped them up with organized crime activity. Everybody knows that organized crime activity is probably the hardest thing to prove. It would fall into the RICO charges or whatever. It's one step down from RICO charges or whatever. So, hey, Teflon Don, he walked on 5 cases because they had a problem proving this. So now these individuals are still waiting in jail, waiting for a trial that is never going to happen, and they're forcing them by keeping them in jail to force them to plea bargain with a $100,000 bail, and that's excessive bail, if you ask me. We've got people that are coming in who's actually they have committed assaults, sexual perversions, sexual cases, or whatever. They get out with $10,000 bond and go about their business. However, these individuals were targeted. Now, the reason why these individuals were targeted was because the fact is that they were trying to pin these individuals with a shooting that occurred, and these individuals now know each other, and so they slapped them with organized crime activity. We also have put in a freedom of information request to the Lufkin Police Department, stating we want the video of the interrogation of Mr. Lopez. Per Mr. Lopez, he had taken his Fifth Amendment, said, I need to see a lawyer. The detective at the time got angry because he wouldn't cooperate. He said he needed to know who was driving a vehicle, and that if Mr. Lopez didn't provide that information, that he was going to make his life hell. And he slapped him with an organized crime charge, which is not originally why he was arrested. So we have conflicts of interest on this, what was said, what was not said, and we can't get the video. Matter of fact, they're supposed to be coming back. Last time that they asked for the video, Mr. Lopez requested it, and they was asking $300 for the video. So that led us to believe that they did have the video. They said that they requested a review by the Attorney General. They never did so, and basically they're just holding it on for hostage for us to pay for this video. I am going to take it upon myself whenever I did put my freedom of information request, ask for a waiver, because I'm not using it for publication. I'm not generating any money off of it. It's public interest. It's public information, especially taking in light as interrogation are played throughout Texas. Many individuals that go in for interrogation are questioned. Mr. Lopez was set up because the fact is, if he didn't negotiate and name the driver of a truck, then consequences was taken out on him, and plus, so they added that charge on. Now, that's the game. Everybody understands, or whatever. However, the fact is that forced organized crime charge had no merit. There was no proof, and now Stephanie Stroud is finding out that she has no case. It was a made up case that was done out of vengeance because Mr. Lopez chose not to cooperate. Funny story on that was they asked Mr. Lopez if he wanted a drink of water, and he said yeah. So they brought him some water, and he had it was in a paper cup, and so he drank his water. And after they decided they were going to put him in jail on these charges, they said, "Oh no, we'll throw that away for you. We'll throw that away for you. We'll take care of that." And he says, "No, I'll take care of it myself. I'll throw it away myself." Reason why is because they're shopping for DNA, and luckily Mr. Lopez was smart enough to know. And if he's smart enough to know that, and he knows that they're reaching, then he knows that anything he says and uses, anything he says or does is going to be held against him. This is the reason why he asked for his fifth. That's why he pled the fifth and asked for an attorney at that time to actually be present at the questioning, because he saw how they were manipulating evidence and manipulating the discussion to make him withdraw his Fifth Amendment, and Mr. Lopez did not budge, and he stayed there. So that right there is proof, and we're going to get the interrogation, the video, and the notes. However, the fact is that coming up, this day is Thursday. It's 10/31, 8/22, 2024. Those of you who are time stamping. And tomorrow, if I haven't received information tomorrow, then I'll go ahead and I'll go file charges against a violation of the Freedom of Information Act. They had 10 days to respond, and they have not. I have two FOIs out, FOI aides out, and they have not discussed this, so they haven't given me any indication that they've received them or not received them. Now, here's the question. Here's the big deal: is that they insist on, or they make a big deal, is if you don't use their portal on their website to issue your Freedom of Information request on the portal, and you have to assign who it's going to, and the portal doesn't give you enough space or character space to actually put in your Freedom of Information request per the portal. Now, how that comes into play is the fact is that they could or could not review this portal, and they could say they didn't get it. It was a cute computer glitch, or whatever. And that's the ace in their hole, is that everything has to go through a portal. And for anybody who's requesting information, I did something different. I mailed mine in to the individual that I was addressing. Now, they got all pissy because the fact is that, well, you didn't use the portal. Well, I don't have to use the portal. I don't trust your portal, and plus information that I'm requesting, just to put the waiver verbiage in there that you need would take up all the space. So there's definitely they're steering you in the right direction, or steering in the direction they want you to go. And I have found that just because if they're leading me to some information, or they're leading me somewhere, then I don't want to take that avenue because they've already prepared for it. So that's my gist on that. We also have gotten, we've actually had two individuals who had not been served a subpoena. We are working on the 5th District Court has been setting on the ruling of the subpoenas being issued. We have one subpoena that's been issued, but the other two have not been. And for somehow they haven't approved for the marshals to go out and serve them. I called around, or I looked on the internet of individuals in Angelina County who could provide that service. I found one. I can't do it myself, or I would, because the fact is that I am a potential witness in this case. And I'm not going to go any further than that. I don't want to say anything about that, but I'm a potential witness. And so I can't be involved in that whatsoever. Now, for anybody that actually asked this question, I want to go on record and say this. Mr. Lopez has prepared all these documents himself. Mr. Lopez and I talk to each other, and basically what it is, he makes up the document. He'll send it to me and tell me what he's asking for or whatever, and I'll say, okay, that makes sense. And then he'll go ahead and e-file it. So basically, I just really review it for corrections on spelling, because he has all the legalese. He knows everything. He's way above me as far as the legal aspect on it. Matter of fact, I'm going to be relying on him a little bit here, because the fact is, I need to structure those. I need to structure the complaints on our request for freedom of information request that they've actually turned down or refused to answer. And we've also had strides for the 2 deaths that we have within a year, Mr. Stolick and Mr. Smallwood. We have actually initiated freedom of information requests to all the county commissioners who have information or any report that was given to them from the sheriff regarding these 2 deaths. And none of the commissioners have any information. So in other words, they're basically saying that this death happened in the jail, and they didn't ask for, or they were not provided the final report of what actually happened. So our commissioners don't know either that, or they're running away from the issue altogether. If you've been in Angelina County, it's very rare that our newspaper, Lufkin Daily News, or any local news covers political and information of this regards. They'll only report on, well, we got the hangar approved, we got this approved, our plat map, we got it approved, whatever. That's the only thing they'll report on. But they fail to address the political situation that we have currently in Angelina County, and the lack of justice being performed correctly in the state of Texas. I'm not even going to consider about the county. I'm not even going there. But matter of fact, with all the information coming out, we basically have overstepped, or we just basically don't pursue the county, because we know we'll get the runaround, and we know that there'll be nothing done, and it'll just be hush hush and kept under the rug, or swept under the rug. So in all cases that we file a civil lawsuit with the 5th District Court. Now, I don't know what the 5th District Court is waiting on. I don't know why they haven't issued these subpoenas. I don't mean to piss them off, but we have a case that it's time sensitive to the fact is that these individuals who are going to be subpoenaed could move. They could destroy evidence. They could influence individuals who are called to testify. And this is why we have the speedy trial rule, because the fact is that we take in consideration that people do move. They change jobs. They move other places. And for this to be going on now for 2 years, and all of Mr. Lopez's, all of his documentation and his rebuttals have all been approved by the court. And basically the 5th District has basically already said that, if your rights are violated, we just got to figure out who it is. And we can't, because we don't have the subpoenas, or we don't have these individuals who they have every right to go and retain attorney, but it hasn't been done so. So this is another issue with our court system. And anybody that keeps up with the 5th District Court, their rulings on certain civil cases do not follow basically the 9th and other district courts and their opinions. So we would like to get this. We would like to get this ruled on in a timely fashion, because then we can either prepare for starting a appeal, or we can go ahead and we can arbitrate, whichever one the county wants to do. So basically what I'm saying is that freedom of information requests are being scrutinized. They're not being met on time. And I don't know about you, but whenever you start noticing those kind of things happening, then their thinking cap goes on. Why are they withholding this information? And what does that tell us? So we already know that, I have covered the fact is that we've had 2 deaths in Angelina County Jail. They have not properly been investigated. I put in a freedom of information request for the DPS and the Texas Rangers to get all of the investigations that were done by Mr. James Hicks, who is now a Ranger or was a Ranger, to see if there's a pattern of him just doing this to where he just goes through the motions and then he just basically allows the jail or law enforcement to investigate themselves. And there is no internal affairs for the county jail. We would believe that there would be our commissioners who would stand in oversight, but either they didn't receive the information, or they didn't, because they don't have anything on it, and they're totally walking away. So basically, we're saying that our commissioners don't have any input into the jail, and they are responsible for setting the budget for the jail. They are responsible for maintaining that jail as far as funds, and they don't even know why 2 individuals passed away, and they've never done any investigation on it. I think that's something we need to bring up at the commissioners meeting. But the way it works here is the fact is that you got to speak on something on the agenda. So we're having to wait until they put something on the agenda for the county jail to actually have our 3 minutes in court, which I talked to a couple people who are putting their presentation together, and I'm going to do one as well, because I need to know answers why these deaths happened, where the fault, if any, falls, and how can we improve our jails, because 2 deaths in a year starts to see a trend. And we're starting to see a trend in the wrong way. So we as citizens need to step up, and we need to start inquiring about why these deaths are happening, and see if we can actually promote funds or training or whatever's needed by the county jail so we can actually stop these deaths. These 2 deaths now, both these individuals were arrested for public intoxication. I think you guys can look back over my previous videos and explains each individual case. However, the fact is that neither one of these individuals was booked into the county jail. The keynote is 11:36. Mr. Smallwood was pronounced dead, but they didn't book him until 12:28. And I have requested from the Angelina County Sheriff's Department, once again, the video, and also the information of who was working, who was the medical personnel, and to transpire the events and the logs to maintain if they were checking in a timely fashion. If you have somebody who's in the detox, you have to check on them every 10 minutes per state law. This was not done previously because of our 2 non-compliant complaints that we've had. So we've had history of this happening before. So we'll see from the Freedom of Information if this is actually available to us or not. It looks like that we're not going to get an answer, so it looks like that we're going to go ahead and have to go to court to have the court rule whether they need to release this information or not. They have already declined. They've already declined to show the video of Mr. Smallwood's death. We're thinking that we can get this. We're thinking that we can get this overturned, because the fact is that 2 deaths in a year notices a trend, and we have to be able to compare one video to the other video as the public to see where these incidences were that happened and how they happened, and could they have been avoided. So that's where we're at on that. Other than that, I ask all my, in retrospect, I am on Facebook. I am actually finding friends who are in the auditor community, who are in the court watching, all entities who are doing kind of sort of the same thing and reporting what's happening in their county government. And I'm reaching out to those people. So if you receive a Facebook friend request, it's not because I'm just want to stack up my friends. What it is I want you to share my information, or I want to be able to share your information to help support your channel. But also the fact is that I want to look at the data that you're actually covering and compare it to what's happening here, because I've been a strong proponent of getting information out about our county governments, and so you can see what's going on with me. I can see what's going on with you, and we can actually compare notes and see if the same thing's happening, and maybe sometimes you have experienced the same thing, and you can actually hit me up on how you solved it. So that's just a side note or whatever. But once again, if you see my freedom information, if you see my friend request, it's not because the fact is I'm just stalking you. What it is, the fact is I'm trying to gain information. And I will post. If you are a cop watcher, you're an auditor, or you are a watcher of county government, I repost it. I don't have a lot of followers, but the fact is that I'll post it out so others can see and can support your plight as well. With that being done, that's the current status that we're at right now in Angelina County. Basically, we're in a hurry up and wait moment for them to answer back to us. And it seems as if they are taking their time and dragging their feet. That leads me to there's something up. That leads me to believe that there's something up. I don't know that for a fact, but normally within the first 10 days, you would have them respond back to you and say that they received it. That'll buy them some time, but we haven't even received that yet. So on multiple freedom information requests. So we've got some things happening here as far as Angelina County, and the county is finding out that they will be held accountable to their actions. They will be held accountable by the county, and now we're determining now they're going to be considered by the state, and also they're going to be having to answer in civil court as well, and district court and the federal level. So those things are in motion, and we are proceeding forward with those. Thank you guys for your support. If you see this video, even if you don't like it, even just share it, because it's going to help not only myself, but it help others to fight their fight. And one of the reasons why we can fight this fight is because the fact is communication amongst ourselves is vital for us to get the word out and start identifying these issues in all the counties of Texas, and also in other states. I post stuff from other states or whatever, and the reason why I do, because the fact is, hey, that happened here, this happened here, you know the drill. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. I try to keep it under 30 minutes, but I'm a long-winded son of a gun. I do want to say a prayer out, and I want to or give notice to the 13 individuals who died in Afghanistan at the Abbey Gate. I still remember that day. I wasn't in country at that time, but I was in Kabul, and I've been to the Abbey Gate many times in my duties. And I can't help but say a prayer for those guys. You're not forgotten, not by me. So you guys be good, be careful. Hey, share it, man. What you got to lose? You know, maybe you can help somebody out. Maybe you can help somebody that's innocent, that's sitting in jail, that needs to get this information out to someone who really gives a damn. So thank you guys for paying attention. Sorry I'm long-winded, but I'll be continuing putting out videos. Because I want to expose everything that a citizen is supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be an oversight of our county government, and that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, guys, be good, be careful, keep your powder dry. And damn, if you're in Texas, it's freaking hot. Pray for rain, or pray for a hurricane to come in here or something, man. It's hot. You guys be good. Out.